I'm Master Trooper Gary Cutler.
And I'm Sergeant Blake White with the Colorado State Patrol.
And this is our award-winning podcast.
This is our podcast.
Which is award-winning.
No, our podcast is not award-winning, as this is our first podcast ever.
Then if I have awards, why is this not award-winning?
Because, Gary, the award that you have is not for this podcast.
But it's like commendations, you know.
It doesn't matter. It's not for this podcast. And I'm thrilled that you have an award.
You have an award, don't you?
I do not have an award.
Let's give you my other award. How's that?
That's really nice.
Having it.
Ooh, that is really nice.
Or would you prefer a plaque? Colorado State Patrol Podcast. Troopers with a microphone. Now we're in for it. It's roads less traveled. With Blake and Gary. I think they're ready. This is going to be great. This is our first podcast, and I'm excited about it. It's something everybody does. So we're, 5-6 years behind everybody else?
Oh, yeah, we're at least 5-6 years behind.
Yeah, so, all right.
And I am going to reiterate just one more time.
Yes.
This is our first podcast. So okay. all the things that you presented, well, maybe someday. But
all right,
yeah,
someday we'll be award-winning. All right,
yeah,
well.
We can hope.
You know, I think once you have an award, it goes with you everywhere.
No, we're not going to get a participation ribbon. We're not going to get, these awards that just stay. I'll bring my old karate awards or something next time. How about that?
I think it counts. I mean, it's like a commendation. It stays with you, you know?
Right.
So yeah. I go up and I say, hey, this is what I did.
Podcast, karate from when I was younger, whatever. It's all the same.
Swimming.
It's an award. Swimming.
Yes. I know. That's how it goes.
Anyway.
Yes. So this is the Colorado State Patrol. We are troopers. We're in the public affairs office, and we've decided that we wanted to go ahead and try something that hasn't been done, at least with us before. And it's going to give you kind of an idea of who we are behind the badge a little bit. I always like to say, we went and got this. I was very happy we were able to design this. And I think it looks pretty good on the back.
Yeah, I think it looks good. And yeah, we wanted to just show a little bit different side of things. Obviously, you may see us on social media or on the news or something like that. But this is really an opportunity to have a bigger conversation about things as opposed to just a little snippet. So I think it'll be a really good thing.
All right. We'll get to know the behind the badge of Blake White.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Are there certain things that you want to learn already? Are we just going to kick this off?
Well, I don't know.
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, we'll learn eventually. Here. Once Gary actually comes up with a logical question, is actually curious.
Well, it was more of guess how old he is. How's that?
Yeah,
that would be
that would be the first thing that Gary goes with. Yes, I am old enough to do this job, and yes, I look incredibly young, and I'm aware of that. Surprisingly, I do look at my face and go, "Wow, I look young." Mm-hmm. So I figure by the time I'm about 80. I should look old enough to do the job.
About your mid-30s. Yep. Yes, I know.
That's my goal.
Well, and we were trying to decide what we should call this podcast, have a title or something like that. And I've been waiting for this to happen. First one here. So I want everybody to give me some feedback of what they think this should be.
I'm sure I'll give you some feedback.
Yeah. So I was thinking of Master Trooper and the Kid.
It's the Master Trooper and the Kid podcast.
No, I think that's a terrible idea. But I haven't heard that you've had some other ideas that I think I've shot down as well, but they haven't been as amazing as Master Trooper and the Kid.
I think that's cool. It's got a real zing to it. People would love to see that.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I think we can come up with something
Bring my
better.
son to work.
Yeah.
Podcast or
Wow. So we have performance evaluations that we do.
Yeah. And they're over for the year, so I can say whatever
there's always
I want.
Next year. There's always this year. Always being evaluated.
Yeah, so he is my boss, but I treat him like he's my son, more or less like that. So
yeah, he does. But we have a great relationship, and then we in our unit we have Josh Lewis as well as Ivan Alvarado. So there's a couple more that do this full time, and that's who we are. What comprises. So that's our public affairs unit. We also get out and we work the road. Sometimes we'll cover crashes, we'll write tickets, we'll do all that, respond to calls. So you may see us on the road sometimes as well.
Yeah, and we're going to kind of expand on what we do as a patrol, what the laws are, how do we, I like to say interpret, but it's not really the best way, but it's how we look at them, because we look at it as a fact. So it's not our opinion, anything like that, and also give everybody an idea of we're human too, and I don't know, I think we're kind of funny sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes,
Master Trooper and the Kid.
Yep. I
Zinger
think
right there.
there.
So no, so I mean, obviously we can't, a lot of things that we are law enforcement and being a part of the government, we don't, it's not about our beliefs, our opinions. All the time we work for the government and the laws are what the laws are. We don't decide that, but we're happy to discuss them. And I think, maybe talk about the importance of them, why they exist, and just some overall, things to look at when you're looking at the laws.
Yeah, why we actually enforce them,
Right.
because they are important and we're passionate about it. And so we like to make sure that you understand, why we're passionate about it, why we feel they're important, and how they really do save lives.
Absolutely. Yep. And that is our goal. I mean, I will say that's our number one goal is saving lives. And it may not always feel like that. Maybe when you're on the receiving end of a citation or something like that. But the end goal is to save lives on our highways and make sure everybody gets home safe. It's that simple.
And, I think people need to understand too that we don't carelessly throw those tickets around. We really do think about what we're doing because we do know it affects people's lives, whether it's a better driving, if, they're going to have a bad day, if they're not going to be able to afford it, all those little things there. We realize that this is important, and it has effects on everybody that we deal with.
Yeah. And in a site, if you get a ticket, it's not a way to, it's not to punish you. What it is, it's a way to get voluntary compliance. So we're, whether you get a warning, a ticket, that's a way for us to ensure compliance, that you're obeying the laws. And that's just one of the tools that we have that we use.
Yeah. And so, one of the things we're going to try and do with this podcast too is give you some examples. So I think we were fortunate enough this time that with the topic we wanted to hit, we actually had some video that we can show, and we're going to show that in a little bit and describe it.
Right. And we don't always get video of things. We do have dash cams in our cars, and with the new law coming out, we are working on body cams, so we're pretty excited about that. But we don't always capture things, and it's really cool to be able to showcase this and actually show you, some of what we experience. I think that's really important for you to see what we go through, even if it's just a little snippet of it.
Yeah.
So you want to go? Want me to roll into it here?
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
All right.
Here.
So just a real brief overview, and then we'll play it for you. Here is basically a trooper was on a traffic stop out on a highway out east, and he was already behind this truck and stopped with him. And we'll take a look as far as what happened with it, and then we'll talk about it here.
Holy dude, this semi almost hit us. He didn't move over.
Okay, so that's basically a stop that we do every day where we have somebody pulled over on the side of the road. And this goes into the move over law. And this is a prime example, I think, of showing why people need to be over in that left lane instead of going right next to us, because as you can see, he actually did hit the truck, the side view mirror there.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nobody next to this semi as he's passing by, and yet he goes over on the shoulder and hits the mirror of the truck. Thank goodness he didn't hit anything else or make it more severe, because that is, you're talking a game of maybe a couple inches to a life and death situation. So yes, he did hit that truck, and you can see the driver kind of pop his mirror out. He's just as surprised as the trooper.
Yeah. And, I think we can talk to any trooper out there that's been on there for a little while, has had experiences like this. I mean, they don't always hit the vehicle, but, I've been out on the side of the road and seen a car coming, and I've actually literally had to jump over on the hood to get away from being hit, and so it occurs a lot more than people think.
Yeah, it really does. I think if you talk to any trooper out there, a lot of officers that do traffic, it's every one of us has experienced it and experienced close calls or been hit. And, we know guys that have been hit and injured, and unfortunately we know others that have been hit and killed. And that's something that we're trying to prevent, is because it's such an easy thing to prevent.
It is.
And that's the purpose of the move over law. So we'll get a little bit more into it, but I want to show you the next part where the trooper is actually able to stop the semi. And even though he's out with the truck, because, that's the next priority, is we want to figure out what the heck was going on. And now it is a crash as well.
Yeah.
So let's roll into that.
Hello, sir. Open the door.
about that.
What do you mean?
I looked down for just a second, and when I looked back up, I was... Right.
Yeah, you hit him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Get back in your truck. I need your license, registration. I got behind you and you're still weaving out of your lane, dude.
All right. So as you can see, the trooper was able to make the stop there and go up and talk to the driver. And these are things that also, they really scare me when you really listen to what's going on in there. So the truck driver, now they're in a big rig, but he had no idea that he'd actually hit the other vehicle and that he was focused on other things. And so one of those things goes back to, if you were in the left lane, like he should have been, it wouldn't have happened. Even if he drifted over because he was still doing something he shouldn't have, he wouldn't have been in that position. And that's what we're looking for on these kind of things. So, it's, I'm surprised a lot of times because it's hard to keep your emotions down when you've experienced something like that from the side of the trooper or the driver of that pickup truck.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been killed right there. I mean,
yeah,
truly.
And that's starting to set into him there. And so to find out that somebody is not paying attention and is basically, has your life in, it just scares.
Right. And he's saying he's looking, he's looking down, but I mean, as you all know, our lights are pretty bright and they have dimmers on them. So they dim down at night, but during the day they are extraordinarily bright. So for him to not be paying attention enough that he's even seeing the patrol car down the road on a pretty open highway and then be looking down and almost again cause a pretty serious injury or death if he had been a little bit more over, it's very shocking to be out there and be in that situation. It does kind of get your emotions going when you see that.
Yeah. And the move over law isn't just in Colorado. I'm not sure if it's in every state, but it should be pretty close to, if not every state in the US.
Yeah. And we actually updated our move over law this year. So it's a little bit different. There's not a substantial change, but what it really helps clarify is the slow down portion of the law. So previously it basically said you need to move over if there's another lane over there and you can move over. If you can't, then you need to slow down. And regardless, you need to proceed through with due care and caution, right? So you're paying attention, you're not looking down, and it didn't really specify what that slow down meant.
Right.
So on this updated law that the legislator updated this year is the increase of, or basically the explanation of what slow down means. So if it's a posted 45 mile an hour zone or above, that means you need to slow down by 20 miles an hour or more from the speed limit. So if it's a 60 mile an hour zone, you should be going 40 or less if you cannot move over. So again, we talk about this, but the priority is always to move over. And then secondary, if you can't do that, then slow down. Now, again, we mentioned the 45. So if it's below that, if it's a 40 mile an hour or below, then you need to slow down to at least 25 miles an hour or less. An easy way to remember this so that you're not having to worry about the math or anything, always slow down by at least 20 miles an hour when you're coming up on emergency vehicle, maintenance vehicle, a tow truck, a fire truck, or really, we talk about this, just somebody on the side of the road.
Yeah, I always push that. That's just a common courtesy. And, the same thing can happen to them that could happen to us, so just because they're not an emergency vehicle or some type of worker on the side of the road, they can still be hit, killed,
Oh,
injured,
and that does happen. I mean, I
does.
know we've had those calls where somebody's out changing a tire or they're working on their vehicle and somebody not paying attention or that didn't move over seriously injures or kills them. And unfortunately, that is something that happens. So again, it's once you're out there, I think, and you are having traffic go by at 65, 70 miles an hour, you realize what it's like being out there. But, a lot of people just haven't experienced that.
Well, and what they don't realize either is how close you are to the vehicles that are on the shoulder. There's sometimes only a couple of feet anyways, and going 65, 75 miles an hour right next to a car, it doesn't take a lot to have something go wrong. And, I've talked to people before too. When you get pulled over, please move over as far to the right as you can or whichever side you're going there, because we need that extra space. A lot of times they'll be so close that if we did a driver's side approach, I'd be standing in the middle of the traffic.
Well, and again, pull to the right.
Yeah.
I think we talk about that too. I mean, we stopped cars at just recently. I stopped a couple cars, and they decided to stop in the left lane of the highway, and incredibly dangerous. And thank goodness neither of us got hit because we have to be concerned about their safety as well. So we're trying to tell them on our PA system, get over to the right and carefully get over to the right, but just pull over to the right, all the way as much as you can. We try and stop cars where there's room. We try and be very conscious of that as well.
Yeah, I think people need to realize that we work those areas a lot, so we know the best places to stop somebody. So we try not to do it on a curve or where there's a guardrail or something. We'll hit our lights, and we don't expect you to stop and slam your brakes on right there.
Right.
We want that's for you to go, okay, they're behind me. They want me to pull over. Now I need to pull over, in a safe spot. And usually we try to do that so you have enough time that you can do that.
And don't think of it, that again, like Gary's saying here, you don't have to slam on your brakes and go immediately over. You're basically doing a reverse merge. When you're coming on the highway, you need to move over with traffic, and we're going to assist you using our lights. But unfortunately, some people just don't even see our lights or don't pay attention, and they're maybe watching you change lanes. So just be conscious of it, be careful. But again, pull to the right and give some room, and that's going to keep you safe as well as us.
Yeah, and that's the importance is, you're going to hear us say it over and over again, safety. And that I want to go back a little bit too on the move over law. Is it goes back to what we're kind of saying there, where we don't want you to stop immediately. When you're coming up to us on the side of the road and you see those lights, you need to be looking beyond the hood. And that's what I always like to say, beyond the hood. So you can see those lights. Don't wait till you get right up there. Give yourself time to put your blinker on and move over to the left. And that also gives everybody in the left lane a chance to also do it. Because if you're waiting to that last minute, you're not going to be able to do it. They're going to, either be too crowded or you're trying to squeeze in and we could cause a secondary crash. So do that. And if you can't get over and you've put your blinker on, it's just not happening, there's a lot of traffic, then that gives you enough time to slow down as well, to where you're not slamming your brakes on just as you get to us. Give everybody a chance, because again, we don't want to cause a crash because we're on the side of the road, just because you're trying to move over to protect us,
Yeah, and don't force your way over. I mean,
Right.
if there's not room for you and you can't move over, we understand that. We appreciate the fact that you're trying. We see that signal. I can tell you, sitting in my car, that's a lot of my attention is watching behind me and watching cars. Are they crossing over the shoulders? They come toward me. So we understand that if you're trying, but again, if you slow down and you made that effort, move over within the lane a little bit and then slow down and pay attention. That's the big thing too, is we talk about this, but really what it is, looking beyond your hood, all this is pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to what's down the road. Know that if there's a crash scene where there's firefighters around, there's maybe some paramedics, us, that we may not be right next to that vehicle. So a paramedic may have to run across the road for something, and they try and be very conscious of it, but they're human too. So just know that by slowing down, it's going to give you more time to react as well.
And there are a lot of times when we have crashes on the highways that they are going to have to shut the road down for temporary, whether it's getting somebody across the road, getting some measurements, getting something there. So you also have to be prepared for that, not just on the move over, but when you come up on anything, you're going to have to slow down, just because something may happen that you weren't expecting. Expect the unexpected is what you need to do.
Yeah, and with crashes, a little bit of a tangent here, but as we talk about this, sometimes you go, oh, why is there all this traffic? Why aren't they moving these cars? Well, there may be a couple reasons, right? And so we have to investigate it. And our first and foremost, we want to care for the people that were involved in the crash. So if there's injuries, if we may be taking some measurements out there, but we're trying to clear those vehicles. If you are not injured and your cars are movable, move them out of the roadway too, because that's going to keep you safe as well, and us responding to it. That's a huge thing that we always try and get out there, is just get out of the road.
Yeah. And for some of those people that are out in the rural areas, going back to the move over again, is that you don't have a lot of roads that have two lanes going in the same direction. So your first thing is to slow down. And one of those things I cringe a lot of times too, is people moving over into the oncoming lane of traffic to get away from us, but they're endangering themselves when they do that.
Because they've got cars coming at them.
Exactly. And so that's where we don't want that either. So, take all of these things into account. It's a flowing, moving situation, and you need to be prepared to try and do that the best you can, the safest you can. And that's what we want. We want you to be as safe as you can when you're doing this, not just focusing on us at that point. You need to be looking around at everybody else.
Yeah. And speaking of focusing on us, Gary.
We are focused, yes.
No, I know that. I know we're always talking about Gary. But I actually have to show you this, if you didn't notice this on my shoulder.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear this so much. I love this. We just got him fairly recently. And what this is it's a little light, because when we are on a scene or if we're on a stop or anything, it's just that added visibility. So I'm going to turn this on. And I apologize in advance because it is bright. and I'm going to point it right at Gary's eyes as I do this. But it has basically a flashing light that we can turn on so you can see it from all different directions. Yeah, that looks really nice.
It does.
Feels like I'm at the club.
You were so into toys anyway, so you like these new things like that.
Sometimes I think I just, let's be honest, I turn this on in the car. I turn on some dance music, and that's all I need for the day.
Yeah.
Now I can't see anything. But anyway, so that's something that we have to kind of help our visibility. Throw it on my shoulder, have a party in the car. It serves a lot of uses for me.
You're probably going to get a bicycle and just stick it on there and chase people down on that, right?
So they make these in different colors. And I actually thought about putting one on my skateboard, to be honest with you.
See, this is why, skateboard, all right?
Yeah.
You wonder why people think you're young. And I don't ride a skateboard.
That's true. But hey, there's no limitation on age for a skateboard.
Yes, there is.
No,
There's an age for everything.
And I crashed pretty recently. I had a car almost hit me, so that was not ideal. I'm
if you start
banged up from that,
coming to work on your skateboard,
if I could, I would.
Else,
I do have an electric longboard, so it's it's pretty fun. But I don't know if I could make it to work. And I would. I could put the uniform on, have the little flashing light. I could maybe have you. Yeah, I could do it, or maybe have you like on my cell phone on speakerphone, making a siren sound for me.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be taking all the
That's
calls.
a new kind of policing right there.
That is. I don't know what to call it.
Police on an electric longboard
or a skateboard,
I think we should do it.
There's a reason why we don't see that, though. They haven't said that you got your bike group. True. You don't have the skateboard division.
Yeah, they do have like Paul Blart Mall Cop segways and all that, but
yes,
there is no state trooper on a longboard yet. I tell you what, we'll go out, we'll test it out. Maybe there's some missing enforcement, something that we can do that is best served by me on my longboard.
So our next podcast is going to be from him in the hospital.
That's probably true because with trying to multitask and carry all my gear.
Yeah, or you're going to put your tickets.
It'd be a little
backpack.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a backpack. Would
have a little straw where you can drink while you're driving there. And
I got a Camelback. Yeah, I can throw that on. That's perfect.
I'll stick in in the here.
You got great ideas, Gary. Feel free to let us know if you have some additional ideas of how I can make this longboard enforcement work. I mean, I'm willing to listen to some ideas, so feel free to send them our way.
We're gonna have a whole segment of like how you can't attach yourself to a car on a skateboard either, so that
don't
causing
do that.
all this stuff. Yeah, no, don't do this.
No, I don't.
I'll have to put a disclaimer there on that. So
there are laws associated with it. So try and obey those as well.
What other little things this is where when I said initially, getting to know you. Well, guess what?
Well, I do a lot of things. Yeah, I do. I mean, I told Gary like not too long ago I did almost get hit by a car on my skateboard and took a pretty decent fall. Got banged up on that one. I do wear a helmet and everything, thank goodness, because I've had crashes on that and other things that would not end well without that. But I think it was the week before that. I crashed on my mountain bike.
Mm-hmm. He's not very good at anything it's on.
But that wasn't just like I was lollygagging down the road. I thought, hey, this looks like a fun area to go jump off of, and then I went off, and then the front tire caught down. I went over the handlebars.
But I saw the video. And
no, you didn't.
Yes,
you
I
saw
did.
a smoothed out GoPro.
I saw a video
I got pictures of it.
He basically went over a bump and he couldn't keep on the bike there, and that's the problem.
I offered to take you up to where this bump is.
Both me and the corporal saw that,
and you said no. You said you were too scared.
It wasn't worth my time.
Was it worth his time?
I could see a speed bump.
Gary was too scared to go ride where I rode. So I ride a mountain bike. I rode road bike. Motorcycle.
Have you crashed that too?
No.
Okay.
No, don't jinx me on that one because I definitely don't want that. I haven't crashed on my road bike or motorcycle.
Well, I'm going back. I gave up my skateboard when I was 16 when I got my driver's license.
It's it's great physically for you. You can pick it up any age. I'll bring it in here. Maybe I'll bring it in here. Just have you stand on it and see if you can stand on it.
You're trying to kill me now, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you a helmet, but I don't want you to die.
I won't be good on that. There's a reason. I lose. The older you get, the less balance you have. And
is that what it is?
Yes.
There's a lot of things. I was talking to a kid today, and I was telling him about hair gets thicker and wiry, and things just as you get older. Mm-hmm. I don't show it, obviously.
No, you never will. But hair in the back is starting to fall out, and I can't always remember where I do stuff. And guess what? It is actually lunchtime. Do you know that?
That's Gary's amazing watch. So as you notice, I'm a tech guy. I got a smart watch here. Gary's got his old Casio calculator from what is it, 1980?
It's, I was talking about it. It could be,
before.
it's no, my wife bought me this because she knows I like this older stuff.
So he upgraded. Yes. We were just talking about Gary's phone. Gary has an iPhone 4.
Yes.
He still uses an iPhone 4, and I have tried. I don't understand why he won't upgrade. He's like, oh, it's fast enough for me. I've got 1G. I've got 5 minutes later, I'm gonna get that page I'm looking for.
The reason being on this is we have to go back. So I just recently got the iPhone 4. Okay, I think it was a garage sale or something like that, but I got over the flip phone because I didn't. There's no reason for me to have any of this. Okay, it worked. All right, back before you were born, we didn't have all of this stuff.
No, you didn't. You had that. Was it a chisel and a stone tablet?
It was a little bit above that.
Yeah, I think that was the time that you first.
Well, these computers, I don't need. I keep everything on paper.
Right.
Carrier pigeons
so you didn't have to text or anything. You just send the pigeon.
Well, it's about as fast as my phone right now.
It's about as fast as you're texting. I'll give you that.
I'm cheap. That's what it is. Okay. I don't want to have to pay extra money for a phone. They used to give it to you free. Remember that?
I know.
And now they expect me to pay for it. And I don't like that,
Yeah. But I hate to say, you need one. You truly need it.
Apparently, I'm going to need something to dial 911 when you wreck on these various things.
And what's great is you're not going to be able to, because on your iPhone 4, the battery lasts about 5 minutes, and then the dialer is going to freeze. Does it? Does your dialer freeze?
The dialer does
exactly.
freeze now.
See, so you're not even going to be able to help me in that situation because
I can turn around and yell, "Help! 911!" Stuff like that. And then they'll call me, and I'll be like, "I've got to do something for you."
Yeah. And see, I'm not like I do enjoy technology. I like the latest greatest things. Unfortunately, technology is expensive, so I don't always get the latest and greatest things, but I do enjoy it. And I was showing off my phone to Gary when we were talking about phones earlier.
Yes.
And how fast it was. And I think he was just he was just in awe.
Well, I was complaining a little bit about I'm going to have to break down and get one here, but
they make flip phones. My grandma has a flip phone.
Does she? Well, I might go backwards.
She's in her 90s, and she uses a flip phone, so I'm sure she could teach you.
About the only thing I do like the picture capability. The flip phone was a little hard to see some of the pictures there. You had to hold it up like this.
So even look at that. Look at new phones. I mean, I'd say most people out there, you have a newer phone and you use it for your camera a lot. So get it for at least a decent camera.
Or carry a camera. They used to make those.
Oh, wow. Film, yeah. Drop off your film, and then a week later you can go pick up your picters that didn't turn out. That's great.
There was some simplicity back then. I know there's some people out there that do on that, but this is going to be a fun thing here. You're going to get to hear a little bit more of us. We're going to bring in some additional people, and I think the topics we're going to have are going to be really great too. We're going to expand it. This is being our first one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're absolutely open to input. So I think that's really important too, is that, let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear about. And, there's some topics that obviously if it's political or anything, we just, that's not our place. But there are a lot of things that we would love to talk about. We'd love to have a conversation and be open and talk about why we do things. And again, like we talked over with the move over law, I think a lot of people just don't realize how significant it is and how much we experience it. And we could tell you stories all day of times that we've either been hit or almost hit. And, I will say, I'm sure, hopefully my parents don't hear this because, they always hate it. But, when your life is flashing before your eyes and you're seeing it, that truly happens to all of us. And it's a scary moment. So anyway, it's just talking about those things and really explaining them. We are happy to do this.
And we're going to have some information on the end of this so that people can actually contact us, so it's not just that. We're open for a lot of those things. I know you haven't been too excited about it, but I'm going to be doing driving graphics, and this is going to be fun and exciting. And it's a lighthearted way to get traffic into your head.
Gary, what worries me is, as we just had this discussion about your iPhone, is you just said you're going to be doing driving graphics.
Yes.
What I envision is some crayons and some paper, and it's just going to be the most confusing thing I've ever seen.
Markers, whiteboard, and Matchbox.
Okay, so basically I was right that we're going to be doing crayons and paper.
Yes.
And we'll see. You know what? I'll give you a chance. We'll let everybody have their comments about it, and maybe people are going to say, you know what, Gary's graphics Maybe
Maybe
we'll
that's a
call
good
them
one. It's
that.
good.
Are the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm a big fan of a program called Hollywood Weapons. And on that, at the beginning of that, every time they have a section where they say it's Terry's Knucklehead Science. And so Gary's graphics, Gary's driving graphics, or Gary's simplistic driving graphics, or
yeah, I will give you the opportunity to showcase your graphics, but I'm going to tell you, I may be critical of these graphics.
Oh, I think they're going to have to determine what it is. I'm going to have so much email in there. I'm going to get a new one that's.
Do you know how to check your email?
Well, I did it this morning, so I think we're good.
Yeah, so we'll we'll give you some information as far as how to contact us, and like I said, any comments, suggestions, anything you want to hear, this is your opportunity, and we're going to continue doing this. We're going to shoot for about once a month on this, just because we do have a lot of other things that we focus on in our time, and that allows us to do this about once a month. But it is important to us, and so please get us that the ideas, any comments, anything. And we will do our best on those. And
we're going to also put this on audio. We're looking at putting those onto some of the other formats. So you have that, sit home.
Hey, driving in your car, that's a perfect time to go, hey, the troopers are in my car. So it's a great reminder to be obeying the laws because they're here with me.
Right now, just keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, Gary and Blake are watching.
That's
We're
right.
always watching.
We're very close.
That's good. Okay, that got weird.
Okay. We're watching. Yeah. Okay.
So be safe. If you are listening to us in the car or anything, just remember, focus on the road. And we want you, we care. We truly do. And that's the reason we do this. It doesn't always seem like that, but we do it to save lives. And we want you safe. We want your family safe. And all this stuff it matters to us.
Yep. And we don't have a topic for this next time, but it's going to be another one of a driving tip out there that we can go a little more in depth in. And
and if there's something, let us know. If there's a specific topic you want to hear for this next go around, please let us know, and we'll focus on that. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So until next time, stay safe.
Take care.